Okay, so this is episode 3 of Virtual Holiday Music Camp, and we have none other than the one and only Joe
Yes,
Fontechia.
the one and only. There's that definitely do not want to have two of me. That's for sure. So, anyways, happy holidays, everybody. It is so great to get back on doing this. I've really got some unusual things for you, and I'm going to open with a song called "Mary, Did You Know?" And I have worked on this so many different ways, and for some reason, when I played the chords, it really sounded more Spanish than I ever realized. So you're going to hear a different version, and I'll talk about it after I play it. So I hope you enjoy it. This is Mary, Did You Know?
Paper tape, or you want one of these? No paper tape.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If you want to know, I used a registrations that was kind of different on that. That was the style was habanero. And again, the chords was D minor, C, G minor, and A seventh, if Robert has the song. But what I did is I changed the G minor to B flat. And that gave it that Latin feel, okay? So that's what I changed to give it the more Latin rhythm style on that. We'll get more into that as I get into that. So the chords that I used was D minor, C, and regularly it's a G minor chord. And what I did is I replaced it with a B flat chord and went to A7. So again, if you want to hear the difference, it sounds like this. Wow, you see? And if I use the other one, it's okay. But that B flat chord replacing that G minor is really makes it so.
So Joe, I
and
have a quick
actually, it's
question.
actually an easier chord to play because all you have to do is play the black key instead of G and B flat. There, does everybody see
Joe?
that?
Joe, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know if you could see the screen from where you're at. So here's the D minor. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, C, and then you say right here,
Right.
put a B flat there or a B?
Right. And I replaced it with a B flat chord.
Okay, let me just.
And
write
that
this
gives it, if you're going to do it in a Latin rhythm background, remember that. If you're going to play it without rhythm and with chords, then keep the G minor. But the idea is that when I replace that G minor with a B flat, it gives it that Latin feel that it makes a big difference in it. So
So
if you're
B
just going to
flat,
play it
and then
straight,
is there
you
a
know,
chord
when I say
after the B
straight
flat, or
without
is it
rhythm,
just-
then use the G minor. But if you're going to use a Latin rhythm like I use, then put a B flat chord there for any, and it really does give it the Latin feel. Does everybody see that? That's kind of a little trick right there. Okay? I hope you enjoyed that.
There we go.
Any questions on that? So let me ask that. I got to always ask questions here. Anybody got any questions on that?
Let's see. When do you go up and down, she said? Oh, and the upper and the lower. I don't think, did you have a specific time you went from the upper and lower keyboard?
Right. Oh, yes. Well, there are different spots of the song. So let me go through it. So on page 2, I went to the lower keyboard.
What chord?
So just right there is where I went to the lower keyboard.
On the A chord?
Right after the A chord.
Okay, did you hear that?
Yes, where it says on the top of page 2 where A chord is.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Your microphone went away. Uh-oh, their internet. We have technical problems. It was bound to happen. He was getting ready to tell us some very important information. His microphone went. We'll pause this. Pause. Recording. What were you going to say now? So on the second page, you were saying you play that. Let me pull the music back up. It says we're on A. So where do you
the
start
A and D, you go to the lower keyboard.
right here.
Right.
Oh, look at that. Look at me go with my nice little circle.
That's the lower keyboard.
Okay, let me take this color out.
And then you go back to the upper keyboard on the third line when you play the A to B flat. You go back to the upper keyboard, the A to the A to B flat. That's going back to the upper keyboard.
Right here? Hold on. I got people. Okay, so on the third line, meaning one,
Third
two,
line, First,
Where the
first measure the A to B flat.
right here. Wait, that's an A.
The A to B flat, that's a G minor
right
chord
over
there.
here.
That goes back to the
Let's
upper
see.
keyboard.
1, 2, 3. Oh, right here. Right here.
Right, then you go up to the,
Okay. Okay, got it.
okay,
There's
that's,
my circles.
okay, perfect.
Got it. All right.
Now, what I also used, I used the category presets Latin to get me the sounds of the Latin trumpet, the Latin guitar, the Latin flutes, and the strings. So when you go to the category preset, if you have it, use that when you set up the Latin rhythm. And it really makes a beautiful, beautiful effect. Okay? Any other questions on it?
Do you
Who's
use
on?
a,
For some reason, it got on mute here. And it said the customer would like you to unmute it. So I just pushed it.
Oh, what happened? You just pushed unmute?
yeah.
Okay.
you-
Any other questions?
Joe, do you replace each G minor chord with a B flat?
Right. When I'm
Okay.
doing Latin, understand
right.
that.
Okay,
When I
each
did
one.
the Latin version, if you're going to do it with a ballad or other type
Right.
of background, because you could play it as a ballad, you could play it without rhythm, and you would keep the G minor
G
chord.
minor. Thank you.
Okay, it's just
There's-
that it's a Latin chord sequence that really makes it more the Latin version.
There's Latin 1 and Latin 2. You mean?
Right.
Okay, which Latin?
Oh, I use habanero. It's only one. You have HAB. Yeah,
I got
that's it. And the tempo is around 90 to 95.
Okay, thanks.
And I've tried all kinds of ways of playing it. I played it straight. It's okay. But boy, when I found out that if I changed that chord, I really had a beautiful, beautiful Latin background. Okay. Now, there's one thing that I'm going to show you when I do the next song. It's called Little Drummer's Boy. And for those of you that have Genie and Orchestra Plus, and where you can add and subtract the chords, some of the smaller instruments, when I say smaller, the Freedom, the Easy 4, the Easy 10, you can't change that background between chords and so forth. So you have to do it with volumes. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to set up and I'm going to put on a Little Drummer Boy, and I'm going to show you how I did this, and so that you can really hear how you build a song without even having to change rhythms or change settings even. So what I'm going to do here, here's the bolero beat. Remember, I'm using the bolero, and it's Little Drummer's Boy. This is one of the songs that Robert should have. But the way I started it is just the drums, or just the drums. Okay, that's the first one. Then what I did is I added the bass in. And the bass sounded like this. So now started with the drums, and now I added the bass. And if you want to put it in presets, which is what I did, I put it in the first preset. Doesn't have to be on a USB. So then when I went to the next preset, I added the Genie. When I went to the next, so I'm building the song by just adding parts of the orchestra. So let's go back to the beginning. The first one was drums. And then I added the bass. And I added the Genie chord. And Then I added the full arrangement. Now, for those that have the smaller instruments, you can't do that, but you do have a section to the left that's called volume. You'll see that it says style, drums, arrangement, or what, and what you have to do is you have to shut those off by just hitting it and shut it all the way down to nothing. So all you'll have is the drums. Then when you want to add it, then you just touch that. Don't have to play anything, just touch it and get it louder. Then touch the next one, get it louder, and get with your keyboard advisors to show you how to do that. It's a cool effect. Now, if you want to have one that has that, come and see us. We'll definitely make sure we'll put that in your home so that you can have that. So too, that's another thing we like to do for everybody. But this is a cool way of you having to enjoy. And if you ever heard of the original Bolero, the song Bolero, he starts with just a flute. And then he keeps adding more and more till the finale is really big. So this fits perfect for the Little Drummer Boy. So let's listen to what happens, how we started. So here it is, Little Drummer's Boy, with putting in more orchestra as we play it. I can play it as many times as I like.
I like it. Very good.
Joe,
Hold on.
Joe,
Gotta give
Yes.
a little applause there. Joe, what was the tempo someone asked in the chat?
no,
The
Joe.
The
I'm
tempo
asking,
was 110 to 115.
Okay.
Joe,
Yes.
were you using Phil?
Well, yes, there's a lot of spots in there. If you see the music, you have a measure like the start of the song, the fourth measure, there's just a whole note there or dotted note. Almost every other line, there's a long period of waiting. So you could add your fill-ins right there. You see where you hold the note for a long time? That's when
Yeah.
fill-ins should always be put in. You don't have to do it every time. If you notice on every line, the first line of music at the last measure, second line of music, last measure, third line of music, last measure. I wouldn't do it every one of those. I would probably just maybe do one of those because you don't want to overdo fill.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Joe, where did you start putting in your extra sounds into the song? Like on the fourth line of the first page was one of them.
Well, you can, if you look at the second page, there's that F chord, second line. That's a good spot. And then
Yeah.
also after you go past second ending, you can do it again right after that. You can do it as wherever you want, but it's usually when you start that F chord where is the best part to do it. So you have the F chord at the beginning. I would wait to page 2, and then after the second ending where the F chord again comes in to start the melody, and then all the way over near the end of the song, there's the F chord again, and that gives you 4 different spots that you can do it. So if you
So,
see how
Joe-
that works, so you
Joe,
start.
I have the
at-
music up on the screen, so.
Oh, good. There
first
you have an F
chord
chord.
here.
So I would just keep it there for a while.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the G chord, the G, you might want to bring in something there when that's third line. But the most important one is when you get to page 2, you want to start building right there, second line where that F chord is.
And what
That's
did you put in there?
Right here? Okay,
Yeah.
well, here's the arrangement real quick here. Listen, here's the first part is just the drums. I
Yeah.
preset it. So that's the drums.
Yeah.
And then at preset number 1, I preset the bass. So the bass was in there. And what I did then in preset number 2, I added the genie chord. Can you hear it?
Yes.
And then in preset number 3, I added the full orchestra. See how it keeps building in there? So each of those are just put in. You can do it manually, but this is something that I would say that you should do ahead of time. And it's just building a song up where you start with a simple arrangement and you keep adding more to it. You don't even have to change registrations. You're changing the orchestra. Remember that. And that's
Okay,
really,
all right.
okay? So
Thank you.
The best thing to do is to get with that and preset that in each one of the presets. Bass, drums, chord, and then your style. And
Now,
so
Joe,
you'll
I
set
have a
up
question
four
for you.
presets.
Joe, I have a question.
Sure,
You made a recording, that's the recording you sent to me, right?
right.
Did you use the presets when you made the recording?
Yes,
So you had your presets in, so when you recorded, all you had to use it. So I
Right.
got a little surprise for some of you. There's a feature on the Lowry organs that if an artist recorded a song using their presets, there's an option that you can load in the song presets. So if there's a recording and you see that the person was using their own setups, if you use that option, you'll get actually Joe's setups.
right. I recorded Mary Do You Know exactly like I played it, and I recorded Little Drummer Boy like exactly I played it. And it's recorded.
We'll have to show you. I
Okay.
had a student in here asked, how do we do that? Well, you'll
Okay.
just have to get with your PAs on that.
All right. So remember, you want to build, you start with some songs, you want to use the drums, then you add the bass, then you add the chord, then you add the rhythm. And you could just keep putting those on, and it really makes an unbelievable Christmas arrangement. Okay? Now, that's when we use orchestras. But now, this is very important if you got a pencil and paper, and because I'm going to give you the scorecard of the Cubs game. No, I'm going to give you some registrations for. I want to give you some things that are very, very important. In fact, This is, first of all, there's three types of Christmas songs. And I did this in a workshop the other day. One is what we call the traditional Christmas songs that you do not use orchestra backgrounds, which means you play it, what we call andante, rubato, with just the way you feel it. Just hit the chord and you play the melody. Got it? Then there are songs that typically need a rhythm. Rock Around the Clock, Sleigh Bells Ring, Are You Listening? Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Those are songs that you really need to add rhythm. You got it? So you want to make a list. These are the songs like God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, Oh Holy Night. These are songs that you want to play without rhythm. For Christmas, we're talking now. Then there are songs that you need a rhythm. And we have really only two that is built in, and that's the sleigh bells and the jingle jangles. Those are really only the two that are traditionally geared for Christmas music. The other ones are kind of mischiefs of the ones that we can add. You can come over to Tubular Bells, Holy Night, a few of those that you could use for Christmas songs. But basically, these are other types of backgrounds. So there are only two that you can really use. You can substitute. I play Santa Claus is Coming to Town in jazz, so I use a different rhythm with that. So remember, make a list, because when you play certain songs that are the traditional ones, that you don't want to play it with rhythm. You want to enjoy it. The second part of this is usually that Christmas music should be transposed down if you are going to sing it. Unless you're an opera star and have a range of 2 octaves, we barely have a range of 1 octave in our singing. So most of our music in easy play is geared in the key of C. You know that the Star Spangled Banner was written in A flat, but if you pick it up on your music, you'll see it's written in C. So if I were to, when I have to play sometimes for conventions and they want to sing the Star Spangled Banner, I have it in C. What do? I transpose it down to A flat. So you have to judge your voice, but usually like Silent Night, if you play Silent Night, if I played Silent Night, just to have you hear it, listen to it, just without anything on, okay? Just strings. That's in the key of C. Now watch how beautiful it sounds when I drop it down to A flat. Much warmer, much prettier than playing it in that high C key. Does everybody understand that? Little trick to remember in Christmas music. Try to transpose it down, maybe from, if you're in the key of C, just the transposer twice, see how it sounds, hit it again. So you either go down hitting it twice, down 3 times, or 4 times. Got it? That's for the traditional ones that, especially if you get a family that wants to sing some songs for Christmas and you have a booklet, usually transpose, you'll find out everybody will sing it a lot better, okay? Got the idea? And then there are some that you can manipulate. Say, I can play it with rhythms. Like Mary, do you know, I can play without rhythm, it's beautiful, or I can play it with rhythm. So you decide, but have a list so you know what you're doing, and you'll be surprised how much nicer you'll have some of these nice Christmas songs. Like, I'm trying to think of some of them, Oh Holy Night, Hark the Herald Angels Sing, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. I mean, these are some of the, I would never use rhythm in any of those. Okay, any questions about that? That's just a trick of the trade again. Okay, now, Robert, I sent there some things. Now, this has to do with playing songs without rhythms. Because usually if you play without rhythms, you just start it. I have cadence endings and endings. Ah, there they are. This is some of the things that I do when I play. A cadence ending was created by Bach and Beethoven and Mozart. A cadence ending is what you see there. And I'm going to just put on a nice
Joe, at
organ
this
sound.
page here, am I on the right page?
Right, that's a cadence ending. So
Okay.
a cadence ending is hitting C chord, hitting F chord, hitting C chord, G, Okay, that's in the key of C. So if I did Silent Night, Jody had a beautiful ending, but so and I just played the chord. I wrote it in different keys. Those are cadence endings, and you could also use it as introductions. Okay, cadence is that series of chords: C, F, G, G, back to C, G7, and then back to C. And I wrote it in different keys for you, okay? So if I were to do Mary, did you know that's in D minor? Robert, if you can push it up a little bit, we'll go to D minor. Okay, there's the D minor. So if I wanted to start that song without any rhythm, see, I use that cadence ending to start it. You see how pretty that sounded? Everybody see that? That's a nice little introduction. So whenever you play songs without having rhythm, you have to do something to get it going. So those are things you could use, cadence introductions, and you could also use it as an ending. And those are pretty well standards that was done by all the classical artists way back when. Now, the other one that we have, this is additional endings, and I only wrote this in the key of C because it goes on forever. These are trick endings to any type of song that you want to play. And these are remember, this is all left hand. You can play, for those of you that can do it, you can play the melody note that I wrote, but it's all endings for songs, and they're all really unique. So let's just do a couple of them. All right, the first one is C, A flat, B flat. Oh no, A flat, yeah, C, A flat, B flat. Here's how it sounds. I mean, that's really, I can use it for any song. Those are beautiful, beautiful endings, okay? And all you have to do is just, for easy play, hit what it says, okay? Let's go to the next one. These are some really great ones here, guys. You should all practice some of these. Oh, that's beautiful. Who did she come from? And this is what we call a chromatic one. Again, at the end of the song, once I finish it, no rhythm. Okay? If I'm playing gospel songs, I use this one. Or I use this one. And this is my favorite.
Okay, Joe. Joe,
See? What?
I had it on the screen. I'm going to turn it off. Can you do it again so they can see your hands? Those three
Okay.
examples.
Okay, here's it. Pardon? Custom 5? Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh. That's what you want. Oh, hold on a second.
I see a finger point coming in the camera. Keeps
Where is
popping in the screen there. You got to watch out for that finger. I almost had an eye poked out by that finger once. I think he's putting something on the screen for the students there. You know, the screen that Jerome puts up here.
Where is it? There it is. Okay, hold on. Okay.
You can see it there.
Okay, there.
All right, so do those examples.
Yeah, we're
again.
putting it on so that they can see it in the screen up here. Okay, these are different endings to songs that once you play and finish the song, you know, like if I played. So again, it's all with one finger. You don't need to really be fancy. I taught this to a student who had 3 lessons in our conductor magic, and she almost died when she heard that she could just play this, play E flat, play this, and end the song. And we did it to Beautiful Brown Eyes. So it sounded. So you can take a simplest song and really make it sound unbelievable with some of these endings, okay? The hardest one is this next one. It's called a chromatic ending. And really, Dennis All uses it, Marco Mendez uses it, and this is when you really have to play this pretty fast to get it done. So you play every note all the way down, and you hit every one. So starting on C, B, B flat. Got it? That's really a cool ending. Now, actually, that one, if I ended the song in the key of F, I can do F, and I do the same thing. But you finish on F. If I'm in the key of G, finish the song in G. So you can use it. That one you can transpose it to any key by starting the last note being the key of the song and just hit every note. Okay, does everybody understand that one? I'll go through these again. Now the next ones are two jazz ending. There's a real trick to this one. This one here, the jazz ending, was taught to me by a Professor Lane Emery at the Chicago Musical College, and he taught me this for when I was playing in the jazz band, and it really is a cool ending. It's C, E flat, F, A flat. So those are for jazz endings, and the coolest one is the next one. That is C, G7th. Now the chord that you see there and the screen, if Robert will put that up, is D flat, and on our computer it'll say C sharp. So that one is C sharp. That's that D flat. So mark it down that you will see on your screen that it's C sharp 7. And what you want to do is slide your finger off the C sharp and hit C, but don't release the other note. Listen to that. And now that's a true jazz ending. So any of the songs like Satin Doll or any song that I use that for an ending when I do Santa Claus is Coming to Town. In fact, maybe I'll finish with that. But the next one I have is going to be C. This is a cool one, but this one is C, hit A flat, and the next three very fast. Oops. Okay, those are all trick endings, so songs that you can make sound more professional. And it's all, most of them are done just with one finger, except for the jazz one that I showed you. Every one of those are done with just one finger playing the easy play. You don't have to get fancy with it, okay? So try those in some of the songs to see which ones you like. Don't use the same one for every song. Pick the ones that you like, and you'll find out that you really, really enjoy those endings to these songs other than finishing the song by hitting the last chord. Because when you don't have rhythm, that's it, you're done. Nothing happens. Everybody understand that? Okay, any questions on these? Robert? Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, they do here, but I think I'll have to show them in person. Any questions?
Well,
Any
that
questions
sheet-
out there in virtual land? Nope. Let me take a look at the.
So just remember, it's all left hand. It's having the easy button on, and those names of those notes that are in those endings is what you want to play with your finger. I can do it with one finger, like C, E flat, A flat, and C. And it doesn't matter, organ sound, string sound, whatever you have on. Okay? So those are endings after you finish the song.
Wow, I'm looking across the board here. Everybody who has their video on, they all look musically smarter now.
Okay, but those are great endings to songs. So that if I wanted to if I wanted to play, like finish with Santa Claus is Coming to Town or something, I can use some of those endings of the song. And I could even do it if I didn't have rhythm. I mean, I could finish the song, all done, and then add the ending as I've seen fit. Okay? How we doing, Robert?
Really good. You're going to finish off with a song today?
Yes, I have a couple of them I was going to do.
Yeah.
But let me I tell you what I do think we ought to do is, let me go to one that's rarely used anymore. And it's actually called the Champagne. It's Lawrence Welk. And we don't use this anymore, but you can really play some of the ones that have rhythms, like Jingle Bells with this, any one you want. It's really cute because it is actually. Big finish. Thank you. I haven't done that in ages, playing with Lawrence Welk. I happened to one time work about 6 months with Bob Ralston from the show, and he told me a lot of stories about Lawrence Welk, so that's really been fun. Robert, thank you so much, and I hope everybody had a great, great time with this. Anything else I can help you with, let me know. And
Give a big round of applause here.
yeah, make it round.
Joe Fontechia. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Wow. That almost sounds
Thank
like
you.
the same crowd of people for Joni. Boy. Oh my goodness. They
great.
gave you a standing ovation too, Joe.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow.
Robert, that was a great time.
I hope you guys enjoyed this first day here. That was episode 3 with Joe Fontechia. And actually, Joe, I'm going to try to take one of those endings and include it in my class tomorrow at the end.
Oh, good.
So I'm going to put now that I know it. When I saw the materials, I said, "What is all of these chords on these pages?" Now it all makes sense. So tomorrow I'm going to use it in one of my songs.
Great.
As part of the workshop. So
Great.
But anyway, so thank you so much, everybody. We hope you enjoyed today's first day of virtual holiday music camp. We didn't have too many technical problems, did we?
Well, we had one always with me, always.
As soon as Joe gets his hands on the computers and the technology,
Oh, I tell you.
something's going to go. No, just kidding. You did awesome. It was awesome. Well, thank you all. And as always, stay safe, keep playing music, and we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, you'll get 2 more email reminders. Same link, everything, the whole shebang. And I'll try to get these videos posted this week. And that's my goal, so you can go back and watch them right away. So thank you so much. And mwah.